That's it.
Yeah, it's much better sound.
Turning over and speed on camera.
Okay, first of all, Joe, just tell me a bit about this area, a bit about Newbridge and growing up in this town.
Yeah, well, basically, as you see, my humble boxing gym. This is where I've trained since the age of 9. I'm now 30, so it's been a long time. You know, served me well, and basically, I'm world champion, and it keeps your feet in the ground. You know, training in humble surroundings like this. I live not too far away from here, and my dad's from just up the road, who's also my trainer. So yeah, you know, we got a couple of good pros and prospects coming from the gym as well. So it served us well.
Well, talk to me a bit about the support you get from such a tightly knit kind of community.
Yeah, well, I live about 12, 15 miles from here. This is a very small town. I spent most of my life here before obviously I got married and I live elsewhere. But you know, Wales in general, it's a very proud country, and you know, they love their sport and they love their winners. And unfortunately for Wales, we aren't doing too good with the rugby and the football. So it's great to give them something, you know, to cheer about, and having the world, you know, a legitimate world champion coming from the country. So, you know, not just from Newbridge, which is great, but Wales in general, I have tremendous support. And as you see, come my next defence, you know, this is already a sellout, and you know, this will be a tremendous reception for me, and you know, it brings the extra, you know, 10% in my performance.
So people might say you're a world champion. You know, why are you still here? Why do you still come and gravitate towards this place?
Yeah, well, basically, this is where I'm from. You know, this is where I'm comfortable. You know, my children are from here, and you know, home is where the heart is. And like I said, you know, I've done everything right. It's a great place. You know, we always go to better places, and nicer and warmer places on holiday. But you always want to come back. You know, and like I said, my friends and family are from here, and I'm pretty happy staying here. You know.
You have your father as the trainer. How does that relationship work?
You know, it goes ups and downs. You know, but you have to differentiate between father and trainer. You know, in the gym, he's just trainer. Obviously, that's all forgotten outside the gym. And you know, you got to know the difference. You know, you can't just come to the gym. You know, if you haven't got respect for him as a trainer, that's when things go wrong. You know, you have to realise and respect him as a trainer in the gym, and outside the gym, it's just father and son, and that's me. When did you come and mess over interview at the end? Now we're just waiting for you. You cut off. You come in now. You went. Just you turn your phone off for 5, Dad. Can you turn your phone off? Dad.
Thank you. Okay, still rolling. Are you happy, I think?
Yeah. Growing up, when did you realise that you were good enough to be a world champion?
Yeah, well, all children have dreams, and from the age of probably, you know, 10, 11, I always dreamt of being a world champion. You know, I love football as well as boxing, and to be honest, at the beginning I preferred football. I used to try and skip the training to go play football, but I won my first British ABA title at the age of 13, and that's when I realised I am the best in the country now. You know, best in Britain at schoolboy level. And then I sort of realised if I want to become somebody, it's going to be with the boxing. And then obviously from there, you know, I thought one day I'm going to be world champion, and totally focus and dedicate myself to it. You know, I wouldn't advise that to, you know, my children or anybody else, because obviously education is important as well. But you can say I put all my eggs in one basket. You know, I sacrificed mostly everything, you know, what most children do in the teenage years, because I was fighting a high standard. From the age of 13, I won 4 schoolboy ABA titles. You know, I won everything I could win really as a senior, you know, amateur. I went on to do it as a professional, so I've been a champion for most of my life really.
What I remember about you when you first coming up, you always had great belief in yourself. Where did that come from?
Well, that just comes from my achievements, you know, from just me as a person. I'm a strong-willed person, and you know, I'm used to winning. Like I said, I'm used to being a champion. I've been a champion since the age of 13. I don't always like to lose. You know, I don't want to lose. I don't always like to lose. I don't accept it. So I'm totally focused. You know, I'm tremendously focused, and one of my strengths is I also I prepare like a challenger. I don't walk around, like the big I am. I don't think I'm unbeatable. Nobody's unbeatable. I go in there with tremendous respect for my opponents.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Did you touch a clip, Mike?
Sorry, yeah, it's scratched me there. Yeah.
Yeah, can you see that again?
And there's one, there's a look at things, kids
No,
rummaging outside, man.
they're not too bad because they're not making a noise.
Yeah, yes, yeah, just.
Oh,
He's gonna whoop some 6-year-old, 7-year-olds. It's far. What's little kids?
okay. Where did the belief come from?
Well, basically, he's gonna come back in now, I think. Okay. So, just answer.
Speed.
Well, basically, from the age of 13, I've been a champion, so I'm used to winning. I've got dedication and commitment and faith in my own ability. So, I believe that the goals I've set out for myself, and I have total belief in my confidence, in my ability, and basically that's what it's all about. Being champion for over 20 years. So, as long as I'm 100% fit when I get in that ring, I have no problems because that's why I'm world champion. That's why I'm number one. I'm at the peak of my form at the moment, and I don't believe there's anybody who could beat me.
With an unbeaten record, you've been a household name across the pitch. Why do you think you haven't received the recognition that your record deserves?
Yeah, I think I've had recognition off the general boxing public now. Especially over the last 2 years, I've had some really good performances. I think not being a household name is basically the main reason for that is the boxing has been taken off terrestrial TV. I probably missed the boat, come 2 or 3 years too late. You've got great fighters like Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank, Steve Collins, all fighting against each other, all on ITV. When you get free TV there and you get maybe 8 to 10 million viewers. The difference is obviously when I beat Chris Eubank, all my fights have been on Sky. And if you look at the audience, that speaks for itself, really. I'm always fighting for a limited audience and mainly for the sport fan rather than the housewife or, the normal person, general public.
That Eubank fight, in terms of that recognition, what did that do for you?
Yeah, well, obviously, that's my first world title fight. Before that, I had a perfect record, but was untested against top opposition. Chris Eubank obviously achieved everything, defended his title 15 times plus. So obviously that was a massive fight for me, and to go in there and to floor him twice and to beat him comprehensively, albeit a very tough fight. I proved to everybody myself and to everybody else that I'm a true world-class fighter.
What do you remember most about that fight?
Yeah, well, dropping him in the first round and him sort of smiling, looking across at me is a good shot, but in all credit, I got a lot of respect for him as a fighter. He was very, very tough, and to this day, it's still by far my toughest fight.
Other than the Eubank fight, which fight do you remember most?
Well, I remember most of my fights, I suppose. I got the most pleasure since the Eubank fight is probably the Omar Shika fight. For a few reasons. 2 or 3 defences before that I was plagued with a lot of injury problems. I had to fight obviously because you don't fight, you don't earn money. I had a lot of pressure in defending my title, and there were quite a couple of poor performances. Rick Thornberry, Robin Reed and David Starry. When the 12 rounds, I'm used to knocking fighters out, and to be honest, they were poor fights. And obviously Omar Sheikh was a hungry fighter, come with a great record. People were saying that he was going to beat me, he was saying he was going to beat me, so I knew that fight I'd be totally at my best, and thank God I'd come back to form and showed everybody what I was capable of doing, and I won, in a great fight, and I won in 5 rounds, and since then things have been going great. All my defences have been impressive and been showing the form that I showed against Chris Eubank.
Is the Brewer fight now the one to catapult you into that kind of superstar bracket?
I think so. I think, like I say, he's a very respected opponent. Former world champion. He comes to fight, so he makes for an exciting fight. We both got attacking styles, so I'm sure it's going to be a great fight while it lasts. And I'm very fit for this fight, and I believe I win inside the distance. And I think that will sort of catapult me mainly into the American market. you know, and maybe against a big fight like Bernard Hopkins.
So people might say that Brewery's past his best. What would you say? What would you say to that?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Basically, you know, it's unfair to say. You know, he's still a good fighter. I've watched his last few defences, and last few fights. He was very unlucky to lose against Knocker in the first place. I think he went to Germany and got robbed, and since then he hasn't had the best of luck. But you know, he's an impressive fighter. You know, he's definitely in the top 2 or 3 in the world still, and you know, he talks a good fight. He's come to fight. He's come to win, and that makes him dangerous. But hey, I'm prepared. I'm number 1 in the world. He may be number 2, but I'm still number 1, and I'm going to win. Simple as that.
How do you expect the fight to go?
I expect it to be fast and furious, but people will have seen this fight, you know, my boxing ability. I think he's underestimating my punching power and my actual boxing ability, and I think I'll fight a clever fight where I'll mix my boxing skills with punching power, and like I say, he's been knocked out before, and he will be knocked out again.
So is it just a matter of staying away from his punching power?
Yeah, well, he's dangerous. You know, like I say, he's a good puncher. You know, I'm an excellent boxer, so there's no need for me to get caught with silly punches. I have to just be able to make sure I'm alert from the first round, make sure I stamp my authority. You know, show me who's boss in that ring, like I always do. Take center of the ring, and then see what happens from there. But whether it be 1 round or 12 rounds, you know, I've got 12 rounds to catch him, and believe me, I will catch him in them 12 rounds.
What kind of shape are you in now?
I'm in excellent shape, I'm 100%. Training's gone great. I've trained hard, sparred well. I'm injury-free, which is a plus for me. And you know, it's just in the 2 weeks for the fight now, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. In front of my home fans as well, the pressure's on, but you know, I thrive under pressure, and I fight better against good opponents, and he's a good opponent, so he should bring out the best in me.
What, in terms of injuries that you were saying, your hands and everything, is all that now completely over and done with?
Yeah, thank God. You know, I've come through that rocky road, and at the moment I'm in good form, I'm in good spirits, and I'm just looking forward to fight. I'm looking forward to putting a good show on the night, good performance. It's not just winning, it's winning in style, and that's what I aim to do.
What do you hope winning this fight will do for you?
Like I said, you know, there's a lot of sort of interest being shown in America. Recently come back from New York, you know, to raise my profile there, meet the American press. So I think the plan is to either go to New York and fight against one of the top-rated Americans, or maybe fight Bernard Hopkins. You know, he's talking about stepping at the super middleweight, and maybe we can come over here and do it in the Millennium Stadium, which would be a dream for me, and obviously a big money fight as well. That's what I'm looking for. I think that's my defining fight.
Is it Hopkins before unifying the division?
I've been trying to unify the division now for 4 years, but as you know, we're boxing politics, and in all due respect to the other champions, none of them are great fighters. You know, it's not, like I said, Charles Brewer's not world champion, but he's probably the best opponent out there for me. You know, that really says about the other champions. You know, boxing's totally politics, and you know, in the super middleweight division, it's not a great division. You know, is that you look at Roy Jones, he's a great fighter, light heavy, and willing to step up, but he doesn't seem to be very interested in fighting me. But Bernard Hopkins, you know, he's on about stepping up to my weight, so I think it's an obvious fight to put together would be obviously myself against him. He showed he's a great fighter by beating Felix Trinidad, and I've been champion nearly 5 years. I'm ready for that step up, and I'm ready for that challenge.
Why is the American market so important?
Well, it's obviously American. It's important financially as well as anything else. You know, obviously, you know, to have great fights. Naz has tried it. Lennox Lewis has gone over. I believe I can do better than them. I think I can be more of a success, and there's a great opportunity for me.
So, what was the trip like? You went to America. You went to meet the people in New York. How did that go?
It went well. It was only for 2 or 3 days. It was very hectic. Unfortunately, didn't get ready to see the place. You know, but you know, met the American press. You know, which is a good exercise for me. And so obviously when I go to America after this fight, they'll have met me and know more about me, my personality, as well as my boxing.
So what it means to you to have this fight go out in live, in America?
Yeah, you know, it means a lot. Obviously, it's great. I like to show my skills all around the world. You know, I like to show the Americans, say, hey, it's not just Naz Lennox Lewis in this country. In Britain, he's a better fighter, you know, and that's Joe Calzaghe, and that's what they're going to see in this fight. You know, they can say, well, hey, who's this guy? And I'm fighting a very well-respected fighter in Charles Brewer. Everybody knows him in America. You know, he's a tough fighter. But they're going to see what I'm going to do to him and take him apart.
why do you think Roy Jones hasn't agreed, you know what I mean, to fight Joe Calzaghe?
Well, basically, I think he promotes himself. He gets paid a hell of a lot of money to pick his own opponents. So why does he want to fight anybody tough when he can fight people he can just walk all over? That's basically simple as that. That he knows he'll be in a tough fight against me. And I think it's not just me. I think maybe it's Michalczewski, the German light heavyweight. You know, there's a few other fighters that he doesn't really want to fight. You know, make no mistake, he's an excellent fighter, but you know, he gets paid a lot of money to promote himself. So why does he want a tough fight? He just wants to get in there, you know, get his payday and not get marked, and not get hurt. But you can't fault him really. I suppose if we were in that position, maybe we'd do the same thing.
So which one would you really prefer?
What's that?
Local residents.
The fans.
It's a crowd, doesn't it? Check me out, squash, I'm my mouth dry.
You've got this gone up there, that's good, isn't
Check
it?
me.
Bloody hell, boys.
Yeah, do it.
Just a few more.
Shit. Yeah, man. What's that there?
That's a strongest.
Huh?
That's a strongest.
We should do 3 minutes question and answers, yeah? Ta-ding! Time to go. Okay, speed. You have the FN?
Yeah, fine.
So which one would you really prefer, Hopkins or Jones?
Well, to be honest, which one would generate the most money? You know, at the end of the day, boxing's a business, first and foremost. You know, it's great to achievements, and you can't just fight for the money, you have to fight for the glory, and the money will follow. But I've reached that stage in my career now where I've proven everything really I can do in the division. I've proven I'm the #1 super middleweight. So I'm ready for the next challenge, the next step. Next step is to fight a great fighter. And I think Hopkins and Roy Jones are both excellent fighters. You know, personally, I think I would beat Bernard Hopkins easier than Jones. I think Jones is the better fighter than Hopkins. I think Hopkins has reached that stage of his career. You know, I think he's coming to the end. Okay, he had an extra fight against Trinidad. But at the end of the day, Trinidad was a welterweight, light middleweight, step up to middleweight. As, you know, him stepping to my weight, you'd be fighting a big super middleweight, which you would see the difference in strength and power.
So when will you be satisfied? You know, when will you start?
Now, basically, you know, I think at the moment I'm enjoying it. I'm at the peak of my form, you know. I think when I realise I'm sort of slide, maybe, oh God, don't, but if I ever get beat or you're starting to slide in, I think I'll know when it's time to get out of the sport. But at the moment, I'm at my peak. I don't want to be one of these fighters who's going to stay around too long and become an opponent. I've got too much respect, too much pride for myself to do that. And like I said, I've been a world champion. I've been a champion, you know, since the age of 13 through British titles from schoolboy, senior, and as a pro. You know, so I'm used to being at the top, used to being #1, and I've never seen the other side. So until I actually see the other side, then I can't really, you know, tell you what I'm going to do. So hopefully God doesn't happen, but you know, at the moment I'm just happy defending my title. I'm just focused, one-track minded. I'm going to defend my title and remain world champion.
So do you see yourself now as Britain's #1 fighter?
I think so. I'm the only undefeated world champion in the country. You know, I think Nan's got his limitations exposed, you know, against Barrera when he got totally outclassed and beat. You know, so he's never going to be, you know, when he comes back and wins the world title again, he's never going to be so-called legend, as he says. You know, I think he's just, you know, I think he's just the best featherweight around in a poor division. You know, you look at the likes of Floyd Mayweather. You know, I think it's just much better fighters. If he had stepped up to super featherweight, I think he would have won that title. And Lennox Lewis have done everything as well. You know, he'd been knocked out, he'd come back, he'd been beat, he'd come back again. You know, all due respect to the guy, you know, but I think he's reached the twilight of his career now. He's looking for the Mike Tyson fight, and I think that'll be the end of him. As I see myself, you know, with another, you know, maybe 2 or 3 years at the top. So I'm the future still.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks a lot.